Yeah.
All right. Yulia says, I have added a new modality to my practice and am now struggling to convert my old audience small. How to reconcile these two modalities, Feldenkrais method and family constellations, in presenting myself? Well, Yulia, welcome. Where are you zooming in from?
Washington, D.C. area.
Okay, great. I've protested in your city once before against the IMF and the World Bank. Good days. So your old modality was Feldenkrais, and now you're doing family constellations?
Yeah, and the challenge, as I see it, is with the Feldenkrais, it's often considered as this hands-on modality, and a lot of clients I got was kind of looking for a fix. And even though both systems are they're systems approaches, so you look at the body as a system, or you look at the family as a system. So both have a lot of similarities, but I'm struggling to bridge that.
When you say struggling to bridge it, do you mean that you've told your people, your Feldenkrais people, about it and there's a limited interest in it?
There's no interest so far.
Okay, that may just be how it is. Yeah, this may be, there may not be a way to get here from there. You know, they're interested in Feldenkrais for particular reasons, and we can make the best case possible. Here's how I see the connection. Here's what it's, you know, why I think there's a consistency in the thread here. And they just may not be interested at all. It may not be their thing.
So would you recommend keeping those separate, like separate social media presence, separate websites, like just totally separate, or just, because I mean, I would be the link between the two, I guess, in the way I do both, you know.
Right. A few thoughts. One is, you might consider hosting a few, just if you haven't already, free family constellations for your Feldenkrais people, and just be like, look, check it out. No charge. Just come and see. And then you can email your list with some testimonials. Maybe you could do a few free ones, or a series once a week for the next month or 2 or 3. I'm doing these free things just to prime the pump. And then you'll just see who, and you know, there's that. Plus also, individual outreach is huge. You might want to go through your client list, pick the ones who you're like, I would really love to see them in the family constellation work, and send them a personal note. You know, hey, Jane, I was just thinking about you. You know, I've transitioned into this family constellation stuff. I know it's so different in a lot of ways, and most people have never tried it. I was thinking about you, and I thought you might really get something out of this. And so what you do is, first of all, you have your list of clients, and you literally just go through them name by name and kind of meditate on each name and like, am I excited about this person? Because some you'd look at like, nope, or it's just flat, I don't feel anything. But you could make it almost index cards, one name per client, and just put them in 3 piles, yes, no, maybe. And then the maybes go through. And if it's not a yes, it's a no. And just, you do the personal outreach to the yeses. And just it may take a week or 2 to get through them all. You might do it all in one day. And this could be a type note. This could be a voice note. You know, whatever feels right. It could be a handwritten letter, whatever feels most true to the relationship. Or maybe, you know, you're going to see them, and you just, it's like you're at a party and you say, can I talk to you for a second? I got this new thing. I think you'd love it. Just give me 2 minutes. Let me give the pitch, and then we'll get back to the appetizers, or I don't know, whatever feels right. So there's that. Okay, now in terms of 2 different presences, in terms of social media, I don't know. In terms of the email list, I think so. I think you've got 2 different email lists there. Because I mean, for me, I look at them as, I get the through line. They're both systemic approaches. But for me, one is I'm working on my body, and the other one is I'm working on my emotions, my family, my ancestry. One is like I go into an office alone with somebody, and the other one is I'm probably in a room with a bunch of people. They just, the contexts feel so different. One is something I can take and practice at home, and the other one, that's not quite an easy translation. So I think that's 2 different email lists, and I would just, you know, start to build the family constellation email list on the side. And so then, right, okay, so the email list for sure. At the website level, you may have two different websites, and it may just be also click here if you're interested in Feldenkrais and click here if you're interested in the family constellation stuff. And that takes them to different landing pages. On those landing pages, they can sign up for different email lists. You know, it's a little clunky in a way. And then in terms of the social media, it could be that on your social media, you talk about this theme of systems and why taking the systemic view is so important as opposed to just the, you know, symptom or the individual view. And then you could be talking about how that's true and sharing a lot of, you know, with both things, sharing a lot of quotes and videos about that. Doesn't all have to be your own content. Starting a lot of conversations about this systemic approach. And that might work. So what I'm describing is, you know, for everybody, there are two books worth checking out on this topic by Simon Sinek. One's called Start With Why, the other one called Find Your Why, Sinek, S-I-N-E-K. And he talks about this idea of the bigger why. And if you're really clear on what that bigger why is, it gives you a lot more latitude in the modalities because you're tying it all together. I've also got an ebook you might want to check out. I think it's just marketingforhippies.com/books. It's called Don't Market Yourself, Market Your Message, which is a similar thing. So the workbook, just very practically, how do you come up with a pithy statement that you can just be making the case for over and over again in a lot of different ways. So for me, you know, marketing can feel good. It's very simple, but I could talk about that for days. You know, why it doesn't feel good, how it could feel good, all of that. So those are my thoughts there.
Thank you. Thank you. That's helpful.
Okay, you're welcome.